This is an introduction to a breakout game. So I want to go over a couple things so you know what you're doing when you play this game. So for a breakout game, the primary goal is to unlock two lock boxes, a large lock box and a small lock box. There will be several locks attached to the large lock box and usually just one lock attached to the small lock box. You're going to need to look around for clues in some games. Some games, all the clues will really be out on the table. And what you're using the clues for is to solve puzzles that will help you figure out the combinations for the different types of locks. You're going to need to talk with your group and figure out the clues together. You might want to break out into a couple groups within your group, like 2 students working on one puzzle while 2 students work on another puzzle. And you really want to test out what you think you know. And the overall goal is to remove all the locks from the breakout boxes before the timer goes off. And usually you'll have 45 minutes for a breakout game. Now some tips for success. So the really big tip is to work together as a team. So make sure you're listening to each other, talking kindly to each other, and really considering everyone's ideas. You really want to let other team members know if you solve a puzzle on your own or with one other person, especially if you are dividing your group into smaller groups to work on different puzzles, so that you're all up to speed on which locks you've unlocked. And the last thing I want to make sure you know is that you'll have 2 hint cards. And if you want to use a hint card, you need to check with everyone on your team to make sure everyone agrees that you need a hint. And you can turn in one of these to me, and I will help you along and give you a good hint if you're stuck. 2 more little tips are: do not pick the locks, because if you pick the locks, you won't get to keep playing. And also you could break my locks, and that would be a bad thing. And also don't try to just guess the lock combinations, because it isn't really fun to do that. You're probably not going to guess them, and it takes the fun out of the game for everyone else. All right, the last thing I want to go over are the different types of locks. So you'll usually have a key lock, so there's a key that you'll at some point find a clue that will tell you where to find the key, and you're just going to stick it in and unlock. That's pretty easy, straightforward. There are also these other 4 locks that you see here on this picture. This is a directional lock, so it has arrows on it, and one of the puzzles is going to tell you which direction the arrows need to go. So you'll solve a puzzle that might have the first arrow going to the left, the next one going down, the next one going up, the next one going to the left, and the last one going to the right. That's what this one is, for example. And you're going to line up the arrows in the order you think they go based on the puzzle. And you're going to line them up between this line and this arrow. And then when you think you have it correct, you're going to pull down on the lock and open it. So pulling down is important. This lock is a word lock, and it's set up very similar to the directional lock. So again, once you've figured out the clue and figured out the word, in this case the word is point. So you line it up between the left and the right. And again, you're going to pull down on your lock and turn it to open it. The last 2 locks are number locks. This is a 4-digit lock, and I want to make sure you know that you're going to be the 4 numbers that you think are the numbers that solve the puzzle are going to be in these little circles, is where you're going to turn these numbers over here to get to. And then again, you're going to pull down and turn to open the lock. If it doesn't open, that means you have the wrong combination. And then again, for the 3-digit lock, same thing. You're going to line up the numbers you think make up the code and pull down and open. So that is how all the different locks work. The last thing I want to make sure you know is this flashlight that a lot of the games have is a black light flashlight. So you can use this to find clues on the different puzzles, because there's usually a couple clues that you'll only be able to see with this black light flashlight. All right, that's it. Good luck.